Your Grace, it was 6 years since you first visited the Russian Orthodox Church until you were brought into our faith. What did you do to convince yourself that you wanted indeed to be Orthodox?
Soon after I'd been that Saturday evening to the Russian church in London, I went up as a student to Oxford. There was a small Orthodox community in Oxford, so I began going to services there, just in a room, very few people. But I joined an organization more active in Britain than over here, the Fellowship of St. Alban and St. Sergius, which was aiming to be a forum where Orthodox and non-Orthodox could meet and talk. And through the Fellowship of St. Alban and St. Sergius, I met Orthodox clergy and laity and could talk with them. And I began to read. I've always loved books. So gradually I had both personal meetings with Orthodox and the opportunity to study. What struck me when I studied Orthodoxy was, first of all, living tradition. Here I felt was a church in unbroken continuity from the apostles, the martyrs, the early fathers. And yet a church which had not just continued this early life in a mechanical way, but a church in which tradition was a living thing. So unbroken continuity, a living tradition, this was what attracted me. I've thought many times it's too difficult for a Western person to become Orthodox, I'd better become Roman Catholic. But though there were many things that attracted me in Roman Catholicism, I did not feel the teaching about the Pope was true to the situation in the early church. And so I felt, no, I can't go there. But the more I learned about Orthodoxy, the more I felt, this is what I've always believed, but I've never heard it so well expressed. So that was the first thing, a sense of living continuity. I was also moved by reading about the martyrs of the Orthodox Church, not just in the first 3 centuries, but in more recent times. I was moved to read about the new martyrs of the Turkish period in the Greek world, of course also Arabs, Bulgarians, Serbs. Then I was deeply impressed by the story of the great persecution of the Russian church in the 1920s and 30s, and the number of people who had died for their faith, the way Christians had stood firm and faithful. And that moved me very deeply, the element of martyrdom, the fact that the Orthodox Church had been and still was a suffering and persecuted church.